Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's put the spotlight on Adani Ports, and that particular counter was gaining in trade today. It gained as much as 2% last time I checked, and this after a deal actually to buy 95% stake in Gopalpur Port for about 1,350 odd crore rupees from SP Group and Odisha's Stephen Doris. Remember that it's an ET Now news break confirmed. We had actually informed our viewers first of this particular deal brewing. Given the reasonable valuations and possibility to increase both volume and capacity and increase margins, Citi is viewing the acquisition as incrementally positive for Adani Ports. They're saying that the deal has happened at an enterprise value of about 3,080 odd crore rupees, and the company has said that the port's location will allow unprecedented access to the mining hubs of Odisha and neighbouring states. And the acquisition, yes, is subject to the approval from Odisha's Commerce and Transport Department, and they're expecting it to be completed by Q1 of FY25. So on back of this acquisition, and ET Now Newsweek confirmed, Adani Ports is seeing gains of about 1.5% right now. Srishti.
All right then, moving on, let's shift focus to one of the counters related to the auto space, and that is Uno Minda. Ashesha, tell us, why is this stock in focus today?
Yes, the stock is in fact gaining nearly 3% and this after the company said that they have entered into a TLA or Technical License Agreement with Star Charge for EV car wall chargers. Agreement will be to manufacture and sell EV supply equipments in India. So a very big positive that has come in, because of which the stock is gaining in excess of 3% today. Now, this TLA extends the EV-specific portfolio of Uno Minda to passenger car markets, and as per Nomura, potential addressable kit value stands at about 3 lakh. As of now, the benefits are expected to be limited for OEM sales, but they also say that as the EV car industry picks up over the longer term, the potential and the growth potential of this partnership could be much higher. So a positive that has come in, because of which the stock has sustained gains 3.2% higher in trade as we speak.
Alright then, moving on, let's shift focus to Hindalco, one of the top gainers in Nifty 50 today, and seems to be trading near the day's highest point itself, and that's after the report suggests that government has initiated an anti-dumping probe into the import of aluminium foil that are used for packaging material for conservation and preservation of the edible oil as well as food products from China. Now, this is following a complaint by the domestic players, where Hindalco was one of the major players there along with the rest of the companies. But DGTR is probing the elite dumping of aluminium foil in the country, wherein Hindalco Industries filed the application on behalf of the domestic industry seeking the probe. Now, they have alleged the dumping of the product from the China, and if it is established, then the dumping has caused material injury to the domestic players. The DGTR would recommend the imposition of anti-dumping duty on the imports, and the Finance Ministry will take the final decision to impose the duty. So on the back of this particular news, Hindalco Industries in focus, as we know that it is one of the top producers when it comes to aluminium in India, as well as the products that are processed out of it, and that's why we are seeing this counter gaining.
All right, moving on, Ashesha, let's talk about Torrent Pharma, and why is Torrent Pharma in focus today?
We have some important management commentary that has come in very positive. The stock is off the highest point of the day, but despite that, gaining nearly 0.7% as we speak. They've spoken about their outlook going forward. Citi spoke with the management, and the management said that investment in branded markets are expected to drive operating leverage for the company over the next few years. Generics business has bottomed out and is likely to recover over the next few quarters. As far as their balance sheet position is concerned, they say it is very strong. It is expected to turn net cash positive by the second half of FY26. They keep scouting for inorganic opportunities, and they say that non-India markets are also performing very well. So the commentary that has come in from the management with respect to the outlook, the generics business, and the solid balance sheet position that they are sitting on is why the stock is gaining in trade today, as I mentioned, off the highest point of the day, but despite that, 0.7% higher in trade as we speak.
All right then, moving on, and let's connect and welcome on board with Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal. He's joining us to tell us what action we are tracking on the technical front. Hi Chandan, a very good afternoon and thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about the first counter today, and that is Voltas. What a move we are seeing in all these white good manufacturers, be it Havells as well as Voltas. But specifically, talk to us about Voltas. What is that you are looking at and what are the targets that you are looking forward to?
Hi, thanks for having me. We have seen a good recovery in selective mid-cap, small-cap counter. However, Nifty is slightly down. But stock-specific action is clearly visible, which clearly indicates participation. So looking at the Voltas after the decline or profit booking of last 3 weeks, it has bottomed out with multiple support around 1020, 1040. Technically speaking, we have seen bottom formation and open interest is shedding, which clearly indicates some uptick. So one can buy with support of 1085, and here we are expecting a rally towards 1150 zone in Voltas.
All right, that is the take coming in on Voltas. Coming to you, Snehi, let's talk about Bharti Airtel and why is this one in focus?
Well, Cheryl, Bharti Airtel is going to be the big news of the day because Bharti Hexacom, a subsidiary of Bharti Airtel, is launching an initial public offering, which is an IPO, to allow the existing shareholder TCIL to share a portion of its holdings. Now, TCIL, which is Telecommunications Consultant India, will offload 15% stake through the offer for sale. Remember, TCIL holds 30% equity and is selling only half of that stake in this OFS. Now, a little bit more about this IPO that's going to be coming. Price band between 542 to 570 rupees. Offer size is 4,275 crore and 7.5 crore by the government of India as well. Potential market cap is 28,500 odd crore rupees, and IPO will open on the 3rd of April. Will remain open for subscription till the 5th of April. A little bit about Bharti Hexacom then. It owns 20% of its towers and the remaining 80% of the towers are leased. It doesn't own any fiber and leases it from Airtel, but it owns the spectrum valid till 2030 to 2042. So, well, on the back of this IPO, you can see the stock move coming in Bharti Airtel down 1.2% as we speak.
All right, that is Bharti Airtel for you. That is in focus. Let me talk about a stock that Shrishti actually tracks very closely, and that is Maruti Suzuki, and that particular counter was trading lower in trade today. It's actually down approximately 1.5% or 2%. Last time I checked, that is Maruti Suzuki for you, and this is the reason why the stock was trading lower. Now it's recovered in trade because they've announced that they're recalling 11,851 units of Baleno as well as 4,190 units of WagonR hatchbacks, and this on a possible defect in the part of the fuel pump motor. But the company said that this is a rare case, may lead to an engine stalling or engine starting issues. And affected vehicle owners will be contacted by the company's authorized dealer workshop for replacement of the part, free of cost and in due time course. Remember, this is the last such recall was way back in July of 2022 when the company recalled somewhere around 87,000 odd units of espresso hatchback and eco van models that were manufactured between the year in 2021 and February 2023. So after that, this is a recall coming in. The stock actually opened up pretty lower, but now it's trying to claw back on with the rest of the markets.
Well, yes, that's about Maruti Suzuki. But moving on, Chandan, let's talk about a stock that is at a day's highest point, and that is L&T. Tell us, how is this looking at this point in time to you?
Yeah, so we have seen good buying interest in most of the capital goods, naming Cummins, L&T. So setup is quite positive. Just a couple of days back, it made bottom near 34.87 and turned higher, and almost set for next leg of rally after a consolidating move of last 10-12 weeks. So expecting fresh run up, one can buy with support of 35.90, expecting a fresh move towards 38.50 zone in L&T.
All right, so that's the take coming in on L&T from Chandan. But on that note, let's slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. When we come back, more stocks to discuss. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET now, and let's talk about Avenue Supermart or D-Mart. Once again, this one is in focus. In fact, it's hit a 17-month high on an intraday basis in today's trading session. Remember, the last week you had a note that came in from CLSA that drove the stock higher, and now you have another upgrade coming in for the counter, because of which the stock is trading at its highest level since October 2022. ICICI Securities has come out with a positive outlook on the stock. In fact, what they've done is they've raised the rating to an add from a hold, and also they've set a target price of 4,800 rupees per share for Avenue Supermarts. So on back of this upbeat note coming, actually upbeat back-to-back notes coming in for Avenue Supermart, the stock is now trading higher by about 4% or so. 4,800 is the target set by ICICI Securities, Srishti.
So all these brokerages are giving great targets, but let's talk to Chandan then. And Chandan, this one is the counter that you're also tracking. Tell us on the technical front, how is that looking to you?
Yeah, we are tracking this counter closely, and especially from last 6-7 trading session. Technically, it has given a breakout on narrow range pattern on the yearly chart and quoting at the multiple months high, including 16-17 months high. Price pattern clearly indicates fresh leg of rally. So we'll suggest to continue to hold the long position, or even one can aid new. 4350 is immediate support. We are expecting a rally towards 4750 to 4800 levels.
Alright, moving on then, let's shift focus to a counter that is named INFA, that is Indian Metals and Ferro Alloys Limited. This counter is in focus since we see that in the segment of alloys, there has been global price hikes wherein the alloy prices have been hiked, and the companies can actually see a price hike of 4,000 rupees per ton across the board. From copper to aluminium, we are seeing all these metals gaining momentum in terms of the price action. So all these counters are in focus, especially INFA. And the another news flow on this counter is that going ahead on 29th of March, there's a board meet to give special dividend from Utkal Coal block proceeds, and that's why the counter is seen to be gaining. So two positive news flow coming in on INFA, and the stock is holding on to the gains of 4%.
All right, but this particular counter, the next counter, doesn't need any positive news flow to see an uptick. Chandan, Indian hotels, I was going to say Indian holidays, but yeah, that's one of the bigger drivers coming in for the hospitality sector right here in India at least. And Indian hotels, where is this one headed from here on? Because it saw COVID lows of approximately 200, 250 or maybe 150 rupees, and from there on, there's no stopping for Indian hotels.
Yeah, I totally agree with you that Indian holidays is all about Indian hotels, and the way things have changed and truncated holiday itself invited the trigger and sentiment to the stock. But yes, technically speaking, major trend is positive. It witnessed profit booking decline in last 4 weeks and now taken support at 530 zone, 540 zone. There is also the 50-day exponential moving average. So expecting fresh leg of rally, even recommending to buy for trading and positional point of view. One can buy with support of 552 and expecting a rally to a 600 zone in Indian hotels.
All right, that's the technical check on Indian hotels. But Snehi, tell us what's happening with HAL. This counter also is seen to be flying high today.
Well, yes, Shrishti, absolutely. And this stock is doing well for itself on the back of a contract that the company has signed. Now, the company has signed a contract with the Guyana Defence Force of the government of Guyana for supply of 2 Hindustan 228 commuter aircraft. The total value of this order is approximately 194 crore rupees. Also remember that last week the company received a solid order of 2,890 crores from the Defence Ministry for a mid-life upgrade of the equipment and of 25 Dornier aircraft, along with the associated equipment for the Indian Navy as well. So on the back of these order wins, and especially the one that it has bagged recently, the stock is up 3.5% as we speak.
All right, that is HAL, that is in focus. Order wins for this one also galore. But Chandan, HAL, do you think that this also has brightened the technical charts coming in for this particular counter?
Yeah, we have positive on defense name and expecting fresh leg of rally. So talking about HAL, recently it witnessed some profit booking decline but managed to hold 2900 zone and turned higher. At the time of recovery, we are adding fresh long positions. And technically speaking, trend is positive for fresh rally. So one can buy with support of 32.10 and expecting it to rally towards 34.20, and even it can head towards the new lifetime high territory.
Okay, the stock is on the way for a new lifetime high. But Ashesha, take us through what's happening with CG Consumers and why is this counter in focus today?
Well, yes, we have some important management commentary that has come in with respect to the outlook going forward. First up, they've spoken about the ramp up in business that we could see, and the management says that the business can double over the next 5 years and that we could see margin expansion led by operating leverage. As far as the fan segment is concerned, they say demand is expected to improve, and this summer they are hopeful of a strong summer season which will benefit fan segment demand. Butterfly's EBITDA margins can touch double digits by the second half of FY25. They've taken an overall price hike of about 5 to 6% in the last few months, and they expect another round of price hikes in the first quarter of FY25. So very positive commentary that has come in from the management with respect to the outlook going forward. Apart from this, there was also an exchange filing where the company said that they've been granted patent for an invention titled multi-stage centrifugal pump with hybrid diffusion technology, and this has been granted till 2024, that is for a period of coming 10 years. So on the back of both these news pieces that have come in, one on the back of management commentary and the patent that the company has been granted, the stock is gaining in trade today off the lowest point, gaining over 1% as we speak.
All right, let's put the spotlight then on the realty pack. Chandan, Oberoi Realty, how is this one looking to you on the charts? Because realty stocks have had a good run. Oberoi Realty also is trying to actually make a comeback now. In the last 3 months, it's seen an uptick of about 5% or so. Where is this one headed now?
Yeah, we have seen buying interest in entire Nifty Realty, and Oberoi is looking good. Continuously making high top, high bottom from last 7-8 trading session, and all set for the next move. So one can continue to hold the long position or can buy with support of 1460, and here we have a target was 1570 zone in Oberoi Realty.
Okay, so that's the take coming in on Oberoi Realty. But with this, it's time to wrap this edition of Market Fatafat. Thank you so much, Chandan, as well as Osho earlier for joining us today. And thank you for highlighting all the counters that are looking great on the technical front. And thank you so much, Snehi, as well as Ashesha, for joining us on the research side. But before that, me and Cheryl and the entire team who put the show together, bid you goodbye. Here's an ET Now's brand new offering, that is Wizards of Wealth, where we dive deep into what makes the likes of Pulak Prasad, Akash Prakash, Vijay Kedia, their investments legends, and the show will dissect their portfolio to understand their process, their risk assessment, and the tips on generating long-term wealth. Each episode would unveil the strategies, triumphs, and setback encounters in the pursuit of financial success. So here's a sneak peek of that.
Investing is simple, yet it sounds very complicated. My favorite line in the world of investing always has been, when you are investing, you're buying future purchasing power. You should have the vision to see, courage to buy, and the patience to hold. In this series, we would be showcasing and we would be telling you really the insights of what makes and what really takes to be a legendary investor. Investing is perhaps based on a simple theory, which is you buying the future business at a fair price. Original thinkers have one thing in common, which is that they want to maximize by buying good businesses and they want to hold it for a long time. But each original investor has a very different template, a style, a formula, and a thought process. And in this series, we would be showcasing some of the real pedestal investors. Good old Vijay Kedia. Well, from songs to his art of smile, we'll talk about it. Radha Kishan Damani, the legend himself. A man who literally needs no introduction. If a pantheon of great investors has to be made anywhere in the world, Radha Kishan Damani would always find his name right on the pedestal. I want to remind our viewers that Rakesh Jhunjhunwala used to call him his market guru. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala himself, what makes him India's most admired and India's most loved investor? What did he do so special? Why was he so bullish? And what was so unique about his approach that not only he was a great investor, but he was a master trader. How did he connect the dots? We also would be showcasing another very favorite investor of mine, and I must admit that I've learned a lot from him, Kalpraj Dharmishi. Very unique in terms of his ability to identify the next big thing. How has he done risk management in today's time when everything is dominated by AI? And then Manish Chokhane. While you've seen him on the show before, but his ability to again look at the macro, connect the dots, define the true value of value, and then hold on to it for years, I think is quite unique. So I'm really hoping that in this series, when we would be getting into when we'll take a deep dive and we'll examine the thought process, the portfolio, real life examples, our viewers will be able to adapt, apply, and importantly, learn.